With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.
Well, it's traveling time for TTU. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Alongside Tennessee Tech head football coach Watson Brown, I'm your host, Buddy Pearson. Well, after venturing to Madison, Wisconsin this past week, the Golden Eagles will fly to Hampton, Virginia on Saturday to take on the Hampton Pirates. The Golden Eagles are coming off a tough road trip to Madison, Wisconsin after facing number 21 Wisconsin, and Coach, there's a pretty good football team that you played out there in Madison, Wisconsin.
Buddy, they're very good. Better than I thought. I knew they were good, but after leaving the field, I think that's one of the top 2 or 3 we've played. We've played 10 of those since I've been here, and I'm not sure I don't put them in the top 2 or 3. It'll be their quarterback that will see how good they really are. They're not going to be able to run the ball just like they have the last 2 weeks against the better teams.
Right.
And the quarterback will have to make more plays. If he's good enough, this is a bona fide football team.
You know, you come back, and I guess in essence it's kind of a short week again, because Friday you do the same thing. You load up on the bus, you go to Nashville, you get on an airplane, you were going to fly to Hampton, Virginia, you stay the night there, play the ball game, come back, fly back right after it. So, I mean, it's just kind of what you're doing right now.
It's deja vu all over again. Is that what Yogi said? I mean, and then we play TSU the next week. So
yeah.
we're in the fire now. It's time to go, and we've got to get competitive, and we're going to have to play sore and tough. Buddy, we don't have an open date for 9 weeks in a row now. It'll be 10 all toe and 11 straight games before we have an open date. So we've got to learn to handle this, and I think we will. I was very proud of the kids Saturday and the way they played and the effort. I know we'll talk about that more, but now we jump into the fire, and we jump into 10 straight games that I think you could just pretty much put toss-up on. Let's go see what happens.
Yep. Well, the Golden Eagles were in a tough fight against the nationally ranked Badgers. As we take a look at the first half highlights, brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast of Cookeville. And, Coach, the Golden Eagles come out with a nice metallic helmets, loving the purple there, looking sharp.
I think that's a good-looking uniform, and I really do. The kids enjoyed it, and not a great start here. We got a 4-yard gain, and Steven sticks the ball out to get that 4th yard, I think, and when he did, the helmet hit right on the ball.
It did, right on the ball. First offensive play of the game.
And, boy, that didn't set the tone real good, but at the same time, that wasn't the reason for the outcome of the game. The outcome of the game was one up front on both sides of the ball, even though I thought our front 7 on defense hung in there pretty well. We didn't handle them very well offensively, but defensively I thought we did. Malcolm Mitchell, great sack right here.
Nice pressure by the defense.
Second time they got the ball, and we got a quick stop there, and third time they get it here after a punt, they take it on down and score and go up 14-0 at this point, I think.
Joel Stave with his second touchdown pass of the game. That one to Jared Ladairus. And, Coach, some good defense. Austin Talent, picture-perfect way to play that corner position. Comes up with the interception.
He jams the guy on the inside, floats to the outside, and the quarterback threw it right to us. And a nice interception. Nice tackle by their tailback right there.
Yeah, White.
That was a nice hit, to say the least. But very proud of Austin there, because he couldn't have played that any better.
Golden Eagles down 14-0, and White, not only can he hit on interceptions, he can run the ball pretty effectively too. He runs it in for a touchdown.
That was one of the few times I thought we were out of position a little bit on Saturday in the game, and our safety and corner, especially our corner, didn't play that real well. This was late in the half when they took the ball down on a kind of a 2-minute deal, and we go in 28-0 at the half, and really I with only 24 plays of offense in the first half and 49 for the game. I thought our team hung in there real well with us having to punt as many times as we were. We didn't look tired in the fourth quarter to me, buddy. We were playing a lot of players, so that was a good piece of it. But 48-0 doesn't sound great, but I was proud of our team. I thought we hung in there.
Well, in the first half, it's 14-0 midway through the second quarter. We get the ball back, about 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter with an opportunity to really make it a football game.
We made 2 first downs and then punted, and then they took a long drive down and scored, and then the 2-minute one put it to 28. And that one hurt. I thought that was the worst thing we did defensively. They took that thing 90 yards in about 2 minutes' time, and I think we might play that a little different if we had it to do over. But defensively in the first half, I thought we were really about as good as we could be against that team.
Well, the Golden Eagles continued to battle against the big physical Badgers as we take a look at the second half highlights brought to you by Miller Lite. Good crowd on hand, 77,000 at Camp Randall Stadium, Coach, and that place was rocking. And White, a 2-yard touchdown run, the extra point failed. They took the opening kickoff, went right down the field and scored to go up 34-0.
34-0, a nice drive. We made them go the distance with it. There wasn't a lot of big plays in it, but still a beautiful drive. And they hit a couple of big passes to keep the drive alive on that series. A beautiful punt here by Chad. He punted well all day long.
Yeah, he had averaged 50 yards. That one, a 70-yard kick, and boy, you couldn't ask for better English to go right out of bounds.
No, he was really good all day long. Nice play here. Again, I think is that Malcolm Mitchell again. Malcolm had one of his best games since he's been a Golden Eagle, and again, I just thought our defense was much improved over a year ago. Both of these 2 easy scores came against a blitz that we've got to get better at. We played better base defense than we did when we tried to blitz them or pressure them in the game.
Freshman Corey Clement there on a 1-yard run, and then Clement takes the handoff outside, and he's off to the races.
This is the worst play of the game, and we had 10 people on the field. We did not have a corner out there, so that's what happened on that play. It's the worst play of the whole game by our football team, and a corner was dinged up a little. We didn't get another one in. Our safety should sit there and call timeout when he doesn't see that corner, buddy. And we didn't do it. This is the last series of the game right here that they miss a field goal, and final is 48-0. But again, we played a good game. We didn't have very many penalties at all. We had only 2 turnovers. We got 1. The physicalness of the game beat us. We didn't just beat ourselves, and I was proud of that. Thought we were not wore out at the end of the game. We hung in there. The attitudes were good through the game. We got a lot out of the game, came back with 1 injury that will be out for this week, I think. So much better than Oregon a year ago.
You know, and you talk about the size up front for Wisconsin. They averaged 6'6", 320 across the offensive line, but I think what impressed me was how big and how fast the defense was. I really didn't expect their defense to be that good.
They're so much better on defense to me than I would have thought coming into the season, buddy. Yeah. A lot of returning starters. They lined up and pressed us, meaning they got right up on our receivers in the second half, and we couldn't get off the line of scrimmage. They just ate us up, and when we tried to throw the ball a little more, we just couldn't get the ball to the receivers. We couldn't get open. So they're a very solid defensive football team, and that's what I think could make them a top 10 team before the year's over.
Yeah, back-to-back shutouts. Well, Tennessee Tech wasn't the only OVC school to take on an FBS foe as we check out the Ohio Valley Conference scoreboard brought to you by the OVC Digital Network. It was Eastern Kentucky taking on nationally ranked Louisville, and the Cardinals come up with a big win. Heisman candidate Teddy Bridgewater, 23 of 32, 397 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Colonels lose it 44-7. Elsewhere, TSU picks up their first win of the year in a 27-7 victory over the Rattlers. Ronald Butler, 14 of 21, 131 yards and 8 carries for 23 yards. Elsewhere around the OVC, it was Boise State blasting UT Martin 63-14. And in a battle of Jacksonville State over Jacksonville, 4 running backs for the Gamecocks rushed for over 100 yards. Tremaine Pope, 16 carries, 160 yards. Miles Jones, 20 carries, 138 yards. Eli Jenkins, 15 carries, 128 yards. And DeMarcus James, 12 carries for 105 yards.
Yeah, Jacksonville's Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They've got good players, and we'll run into them on down the road here, but I think they're going to have a good season.
Not much defense played by Campbellsville. Murray State rolls up 83 points, 41 in the first quarter, Coach. Mikhail Miller, 17 of 21, 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I don't know if that's his final stats or if that was his first quarter stats.
I mean, seriously. There may not have been anything they could do.
The Ole Miss Rebels over Southeast Missouri, 31-13. Elsewhere, Eastern Illinois in double overtime over the Salukis of Southern Illinois, 40-37. Jimmy Garoppolo 34-56, 440 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Just a really good football player. We knew it going in. He's the best player in our league this year, offensive player in my opinion. And if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to slow him down.
And Austin Peay playing its second in-state SEC foe. The Governors lose it at Vanderbilt 38-3. Checking out the standings, there you see Eastern Illinois, Jacksonville State 2-0 early in this season. Everybody else 1-1 with the exception of SEMO and Austin Peay, who have played some pretty good competition and who have yet to win a football game.
Well, I mean, Austin Peay's played Tennessee and Vanderbilt. That's not an easy start. I think early in the year you just can't look at the scores for anything.
Right.
These SCS games, some people run it up, some don't. It's different styles. I think we're going to need to get about 3 or 4 games a little deeper in the year to really know. EIU's the one that's sticking out to me that looks pretty good again.
Yeah, well, we still have our player spotlight inside Golden Eagle football and where have they landed segments still to come. Stay with us. There's more Watson Brown Show coming up.
Tennessee Tech tickets available at 931-372-3940 or ttusports.com.
Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Well, it's time now for our Golden Eagle Player Spotlight, brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry. This week, we visit with speedster Ladairus Vanlier. Check it out.
Ladairus Vanlier, number 3, Nashville, Tennessee, running back, punt return and kick return. Actually, I think it's a really good advantage that, people might overlook. Some people might look at it as a disadvantage, but I look at it as an advantage because, I got linemen that are 6'6" and 6'5". When I'm getting the ball and going through this hole, it makes it hard for the defense to figure out where I am. And once I'm past you, it's pretty much a wrap for you making the tackle. It was a very good experience because, I got a lot of experience, obviously, and I had great people, great teachers like Tremaine Hudson. He was a very great teacher to me. He taught me a lot. Coach Stephen Brown, my positions coach, he taught me a lot. I'm a pretty quick learner, but that it's nothing like game time experience. So they were preparing me for that. And playing last year, at first I was kind of nervous, but once my coaches and everybody, they were just telling me, man, just go out there and do what God bless you to do. And everybody puts their pads on the same way as I do. And after I learned everything and learned what I was doing and what my role was, I just took it and ran with it and did everything 110%. And it was great. And now, we got a lot of people with experience and stuff, and I feel like it's gonna take us far this year. If I was a superhero, I'd be Spider-Man, cause I don't know, that's just my favorite superhero. I like to run around and flip, and I'm a very adventurous person. I like to bungee jump, and I want to go skydiving one day. I just like the rush, so I'll probably be Spider-Man. Not necessarily game day rituals, but normally before a game, I just try to keep my head level. I like to joke around a lot. That's kind of what gets me in the mood. And I listen to music. I don't know, just text. I don't really have a game time ritual. I just kind of just let it go with the flow, I'm Ladairus Vanlier.
The Spider-Man, Ladairus Vanlier. Coach, how about we don't let him go bungee jumping maybe till after the season?
We've nicknamed him Mighty Mamba. That's his new name.
The Mighty Mamba.
After Black Mamba in Oregon, we've got the Mighty Mamba at Tennessee Tech. So he's a great kid. He keeps everybody loose and keeps himself loose. He's very emotional. We have to try to keep him calmed down. What he said would be right. I'm about trying to keep himself just calm before a game, and when he gets in trouble is when his emotions just go too far. Yeah. And then we can get him on the sidelines, calm him back down. But he's a great kid, very sharp kid. He does pick things up quickly, and he had to play last year when Zach Ziegler went down.
Yeah,
that was one of those injuries that we said, nope, you got to go, bud, and he did a very good job. So we're glad to have him here.
Boy, he's fast. Well, it's time now to go inside Golden Eagle football, brought to you by Pepsi. This week, we take a look at something that's really growing at home football games, the Tailgate Park. Take a look.
the 98.5 Kiss FM Tailgate Park has really grown over the last couple years. In fact, today, for the first home football game, all 84 tailgate spaces have been filled, so we're really excited about that. We have all kinds of stuff. So we have inflatables for the kids. We have live music on the stage. Starting around 6 o'clock, the cheerleaders will do their performance. It's like a big pep rally, and then the band marches through. But we have something brand new going on this year. At 4:45, we're having the first ever Golden Eagle Walk, where our football team will make its way from the Hooper Eblen Center through the Tailgate Park and into the football stadium. So we're really excited about that. Yeah, it's, we have such a wide variety of people here in the Tailgate Park. We have tons of parents that have just, as their kids start to play for the football team, have heard about it from other parents, and so they would just want to be a part of it. But we also have had a huge increase from the community. So people with businesses come out and bring their tents, and they set up, and it's just such a fun family atmosphere, and we love it here.
98.5 KISS FM is the flagship station for Tennessee Tech football. We carry every Tennessee Tech football game, and we're proud to do it. Our whole radio company, including 94.7, the Country Giant, proud to be sponsors and promoters of Tennessee Tech sports across the board. We love our university, we love our community, and we have been a sponsor of all those various activities. And one day, Mark Wilson was like, hey, why don't we just call the Tailgate Park the 98.5 KISS FM Tailgate Park? And we're like, yeah, we'll go for it, because we're out here entertaining the crowd, talking to the people, and we are so pumped up. We love Tennessee Tech. We love Tennessee Tech football. It's just a huge asset to Cookeville, the community, the whole Upper Cumberland. I mean, what it brings to this region is just, you can't describe it. We promote these games. We promote coming out here early. Of course, 3 hours before kickoff, the Tailgate Park opens. But we talk about it. We talk about the fun, the excitement, the band, the cheerleaders. Of course, we've got the Golden Eagle Walk that's going to start tonight. Just all the excitement and all the fun. And there's the inflatables for the kids. And, of course, get them out here, get them ready, and get them in that stadium.
And, Coach, I know you don't get to see a whole lot of that because you are in the stadium getting ready for the game, but I'm telling you, it has grown so much. That Tailgate Park just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and especially for the first home game, it was rocking.
A lot of my friends will let me know, and it's just been one of the things that's really grown here at Tennessee Tech, and we're very proud of that. And what Levita said is what I'm proud of. A lot of the community now, it's not just parents,
right.
It's community businesses within the community, just fans of the football team, and I'm very surprised that the Eagle Walk was as good as it was. There were a lot of people out there that day for the first one. When we started this at UAB back a long time ago, really started slow, then it really grew, but I was very surprised at the crowd the first night.
Yeah, it's really a neat new tradition. Well, the Golden Eagles have had some versatile athletes come through the football program, and one of those is former TTU and NFL great Jim Bishop, as we take a look at our Where Have They Landed segment, brought to you by FCS Football.
I came to Tech in 1967. I played every position on the team except quarterback my first year, and I was redshirted. Next year I started out defensive tackle, got hurt, was out a couple of games. They moved me to tight end, and I stayed at tight end for the rest of my career at Tech. Played some linebacker, but mostly tight end. I was drafted by the San Diego Chargers in the 5th round of the 1972 draft. They only had 2 picks before me, and then I was their 3rd pick in the draft, but it was the 5th round. And yeah, I went to San Diego and stayed there for a while. Then I was traded to Kansas City and went there and finished out training camp. And they cut me, and I went home and worked for a month or so, and the Houston Oilers called, and I went to Houston and finished out the season with Houston on the taxi squad. And then in 1974, when they started the World Football League, I was called, or I went down for an interview for a position on that team, and I was hired by those guys in Birmingham and played with the Birmingham Americans the first year, and the name was changed to the Birmingham Vulcans the second year, and I finished out the year. I'm in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. I've been there 30 years. I'm in the automobile business. I'm retired. My sons are running the stores now. We moved there in 1983. This is the 30th year for our stores, and I'm kind of sitting back watching from the sidelines now. Well, the dealerships are in Tuscumbia, Alabama, We have a GM store which has Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, and right next door we have a Toyota store, and they're both named Jim Bishop Chevrolet Buick Olds and Jim Bishop Toyota. I'm Jim Bishop, and that's where I've landed.
And Coach Jim was quite a player when he was at TTU.
Boy, he was a really good player. That whole team had some players on it, and but he's also, you can see, that's why they won. Another class guy that handled himself well as a student here and made a great career as a NFL guy and then in the business world. So we're very, very proud of Jim. Jim will give us names down in that area in recruiting still and helps us all every way that he can. He comes back every year to the alumni golf tournament, and just a great Tech ambassador, and just very proud of him.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Coach will answer your Twitter questions, and he'll talk about this week's opponent, Hampton. Stay with us.
Tennessee Tech tickets available at 931-372-3940 or ttusports.com.
Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Well, if you have a question for Coach Brown, you can tweet it at TTU Golden Eagles. Now, we've got some questions for you, Coach, as we move into this segment, which is sponsored by ttusports.com. The questions that have been tweeted in. Let's start right here. Coaches say the biggest improvement come between week 1 and week 2. Despite the score, did you see improvement in the Golden Eagles this week?
In 2 of the 3 phases. We got better in the special teams. Thought we had a really good special teams day, and we got better on defense. I don't know that we did offensively, but we were manhandled so much it's hard to tell. We did take care of the ball pretty well on a day when we couldn't get it moved a lot. So I do think we did. I do think you get a lot out of those games.
Yeah.
And I think if you come back with not a lot of injuries, which we didn't have, your team is better from doing that. I told the team afterwards we could be playing somebody that we beat 60-0 again.
Right.
Or we could be up here in Madison playing a really good team. And I think we got better by doing what we did.
And there was more of a comment that came in via Twitter. It says, give credit to James Hughley for chasing down their ball carrier and preventing a touchdown on that long run. I thought it was a great effort by him.
He can run. And James had his best game. That was maybe his 4th start since he's been at Tech.
Yeah, 8 tackles.
He had 8 tackles and some physical tackles. And then the play where he chased the guy down, that kid can really run.
Yeah,
that he caught.
He's fast.
So very proud of James. I had him as one of the top 5 players in the game as far as performance.
Another Twitter question, is there an area that you really want to see improvement against Hampton?
No, just play good. We're into the time now that where everybody is good enough to beat us. We're good enough to win the game. We've got to play well. We go up there and turn it over, have a bunch of penalties, we lose. There's no doubt about it. We go up and give a lot of big plays up on defense, and we get beat. We're going to have to play a very solid football game to win the game, and we're pretty much in that mode now, buddy, where it's just play good every time you go out there.
Now, the Hampton Pirates came to Cookeville last year. Tennessee Tech was a 41-31 winner over the Pirates. Coach, do you expect to see something similar in this year's team that you saw in last year's team?
It's a better team. The strength is by far their defense. Their offense has not scored a lot of points yet. They were a better offensive team last year. You remember the game, and we got some tape of it here last year. We jumped on them quick, and we paced them, and I thought they got really tired. It was a very hot night. So we had a good game offensively. I did not think we had a great game defensively, and they nearly caught us. They returned the opening kickoff of the second half, and it got within 10 points.
Right.
It ended up a 10-point game. We're going to have to play. I think that where they're better this year over last year is their defense is much improved over a season ago, in my opinion.
Yeah, they lost their opener to William and Mary. Have you had a chance to look at that tape and have you seen anything there?
Well, they're 0-2. They have not played a home game yet. We're their first game at home, so there'll be a very nice crowd there that night, as there was in this game last year here. We had a really nice crowd.
Sure
nice
did.
Run by Adam Urbano. We miss Adam. But, yeah, I think that they're misleading because they lose to Western Illinois 42-9, but they had 3 interceptions for touchdowns.
Wow.
Western Illinois only had 260 yards of total offense in the game. Then last week they played with William and Mary good, and William and Mary is always a ranked opponent in the FCS at William and Mary. This is a good team. This is a good, solid team. We barely beat them a year ago when we were fresh. We had Rick Rogers made 3 or 4 plays, and that was his first game to play for us.
Right.
and he made a couple of big plays in the game that helped us. This was when our team was at its best. It was early in the year when we still had all of our players. So I think we got a tough opponent.
Offensively, you come off a 63-point performance with not scoring any. So obviously you want to see that offense get going again.
Well, we got to. The strength of us should be our offensive team and the style we play with pace. If you don't make first downs, there is no pace. So we got to get going again. The opponent had a little bit to do with it. I've never been in a game where our first offense scored every time they had the ball like Cumberland.
Yeah.
And then I've never been in a game, or very few times, that we've been shut out on anything that I've ever done. So we go from one to the other, and hopefully we'll get back on to a very good offensive football team again.
Well, Coach, we certainly wish you another safe trip. I know that a lot of those guys enjoy loading up in the plane and going, and it's something special that you get to do. And obviously another airplane trip 2 weeks in a row is going to be enjoyable for the guys.
I hope so. It's a lot more fun to be on that plane coming back with a victory, though.
Well, that's going to do it for the Watson Brown Show. We appreciate you tuning in this week. For Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown, I'm Buddy Pearson. We'll see you next week right here on the Watson Brown Show.
The Watson Brown Show has been brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry, Wendy's Breakfast in Cookeville, Miller Lite, and Pepsi.
With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.